While strolling along the 2.5 miles of Tampa's Riverwalk, you can visit museums, restaurants, parks, and get a good dose of history from the Monument Trail, which honors those that contributed to the history and culture of Tampa and Hillsborough County through the years. The Monument Trail is a collaboration between the Tampa Bay History Center and the Friends of the Riverwalk. Since 2012, a total of 30 honorees have been designated. Today we will celebrate the life and legacy of Norma Tina Russo, who is considered Tampa's First Lady of Opera. Tina was born on August 7, 1902 in Naples, Italy. At the young age of 14, she began her singing career, having thoroughly impressed internationally famous opera singer Enrico Caruso. At just 19, Tina made her debut with the San Carlo Opera of Naples, singing in Carmen. After having enormous success in Naples, she was recruited by the director of New York's Metropolitan Opera and was offered a contract that was mind-blowing at the time. Under the terms of the contract, she was to be paid $400 per performance, with a minimum of 60 performances, meaning that during a time when many made less than $3,000 a year, she would be making $24,000. In 1923, her career brought her to New York with her husband. In the ensuing years, they had 3 children, and she continued to contribute to the art scene, singing grand opera in the theater. In 1932, the Russo family came to Tampa on what was thought to be a vacation, but Tina's husband ended up abandoning her and the children when they arrived. Although it is not known why he left the family, he did occasionally turn back up through the years until they officially divorced in 1946. Left with 3 children, little money, and almost no English-speaking skills, Tina was forced to carve out a new future in Tampa during the dark days of the Great Depression. Under the auspices of the Works Progress Administration, Tina began teaching music and offering private lessons to those she sensed had true talent. She taught on the 2nd floor of the former El Pasage Hotel here in Ybor City. Here she was surrounded with music as other musicians also offered their services as teachers and tutors. In addition to teaching, Tina also became a student learning English. According to her daughter Rosetta, Tina spoke broken English with a thick accent, but she definitely got her point across. In addition, in 1939, Tina became a United States citizen. Although the pay for her music lessons was meager, Tina managed to save enough money and buy a home and turned one room into a studio devoted to her music lessons. Neighbors and family recall that music often poured out of the house and into the streets. In the years after World War II, Tina continued to be discouraged by the lack of culture in Tampa and sought to change it. She once remarked in an interview, "When I first came in Tampa, there was no culture at all. Nobody sang anything. Just the jungle we have. That's the truth." Throughout the next few decades, Tina dedicated her life to spreading her love of music and opera to the community. She organized a large number of performances, sometimes bringing in famous stars of the time. In addition, she formed a close working relationship with world-renowned opera soprano Licia Albanese, who often came to Tampa to help out her old friend. Often before premieres, it was common for Tina to show off another talent, which was her cooking. She'd invite the cast over for an evening of her best Italian dishes. Tina's family remembers that if the house wasn't filled with music, it was filled with the aroma of her stellar cooking. Tragedy struck the household in 1969 when her home was broken into and she was robbed and brutally beaten. During the assault, she lost sight in one eye, and the thief took off with many of her precious valuables that she had collected through the years. After surviving the trauma of the robbery, Tina continued to work to bring the arts to Tampa. Eventually, due to other health concerns, she chose to retire. Although she worked tirelessly to stage these shows, at times they often struggled to break even, and she sometimes performed them at a loss, borrowing against her home to ensure that the shows would go on. Upon the announcement of her retirement, the community reached out to express their gratitude. In 1976, a benefit featuring Bob Hope celebrated the life of Mrs. Russo with special performances from opera stars who had worked with and admired her through the years. It would be an absolute shame to do a video about Norma Tina Russo and not hear from the Grand Lady herself. Here is a recording of Tina performing at a wedding in the 1950s. Through the years, Tina has been honored and celebrated throughout the area. In addition to numerous awards and commendations bestowed upon her, in 2016 she was chosen to be represented with a monument bust on Tampa's Riverwalk. Its placement by the Strass Center is perfectly appropriate considering her legacy of bringing and instilling a love of opera to Tampa Bay. Since much of her work took place in Ybor City, the Italian Club chose to honor her with memorial concerts and a bronze plaque, noting her contribution as being Tampa's First Lady of Opera. Norma Tina Russo passed away on February 15, 1977, after a long battle with cancer. She was laid to rest in East Tampa's Garden of Memories. Perhaps her longtime friend, Licia Albanese, said it best by stating, "To me, Norma was a woman of undeniable charm and beauty. I was always struck by her beautiful face with its white rose complexion, framed by her black hair and accentuated by intense dark eyes. Moreover, she was a good soul with a heart every bit as beautiful as she was to the eye."